Today, they are among your best CEOs, academics, astronauts, scientists, economists, doctors, even spelling bee champions. They are your strength. They are also the pride of India. They symbolize the best of both our societies. Mr. Speaker, my understanding of your great country began long before I entered public office. Long before assuming office, I traveled coast to coast, covering more than 25 states of America. I realized then that the real strength of the U.S. was in the dreams of its people and the boldness of their ambitions. Today, Mr. Speaker, a similar spirit animates India. Over 800 million youth are spatially impatient. India is undergoing a profound social and economic change. 1 billion of its citizens are already politically empowered. My dream is to economically empower them through many social and economical transformations, and do so by 2022, the 75th anniversary of India's independence. My to-do list is long and ambitious, but you will understand it includes a vibrant rural economy with a robust farm sector, a roof over each head, and electricity for all households. To skill millions of our youth, build 100 smart cities, have a broadband for 1 billion, and connect our villages to the digital world, and create a 21st century rail, road, and port infrastructure. These are not just aspirations. They are goals to be reached in a finite time frame and to be achieved with a light carbon footprint with greater emphasis on renewables. Mr. Speaker, in every sector of India's forward march, I see the U.S. as an indispensable partner. Many of you also believe that a stronger and prosperous India is in America's strategic interest. Let us work together to convert shared ideals into practical cooperation. There can be no doubt that in advancing this relationship, both nations stand to gain. As the U.S. businesses search for new areas of economic growth, markets for their goods, a pool of skilled resources, and a global locations to produce and manufacture, India could be their ideal partner. India's strong economy and growth rate of 7.6% annum is creating a new opportunities for our mutual prosperity. Transformative American technologies in India and growing investment by Indian companies in the United States both have a positive impact on the lives of our citizens. Today, for the global research and development centers, India is the destination of choice for the U.S. companies. Looking eastward from India across the Pacific, the innovation strength of our two countries comes together in California. Here, the innovative genius of America and India's intellectual creativity are working to shape new industries of the future. Mr. Speaker, the 21st century has brought with it great opportunities, but it has also come with its own set of challenges. While some parts of the world are islands of growing economic prosperity, others are mired in conflicts. In Asia, the absence of an agreed security architecture creates uncertainty. Threats of terror are expanding and new challenges are emerging in cyber and outer space. And global institutions conceived in 20th century seem unable to cope with new challenges or take on new responsibilities. In this world of multiple transitions and economic opportunities, growing uncertainties and political complexities, existing threats and new challenges, our engagement can make a difference by promoting cooperation, not dominance, connectivity, not isolation, inclusive, not exclusive mechanisms, respect for global commons, and above all, for international rules and norms. India is already assuming her responsibilities in securing the Indian Ocean region. A strong India-US partnership can anchor peace, prosperity, and stability from Asia to Africa and from Indian Ocean to the Pacific. It can also help ensure security of the sea lanes of commerce and freedom of navigation on seas. But the effectiveness of our cooperation would increase if international institutions frame with the mindset of the 20th century where they reflect the realistic of today. Mr. Speaker, before arriving in Washington, D.C., I had visited Herat in western Afghanistan to inaugurate Afghan-India Friendship Dam built with Indian assistance. I was also there on the Christmas Day last year to dedicate to that proud nation, its parliament, a testimony to our democratic ties. Afghans naturally recognize that the sacrifices of America have helped create a better life. But your contribution in keeping the region safe and secure is deeply appreciated by even beyond. And India too has made an enormous contribution and sacrifices to support our friendship with Afghan people. A commitment to rebuild a peaceful and stable and prosperous Afghanistan is our shared objective. 8 distinguished members, not just in Afghanistan, but elsewhere in South Asia and globally, terrorism remains the biggest threat. In the territory stretching from west of India's border up to Africa, it may go by different names, from Lashkar-e-Taiba to Taliban to ISIS, but its philosophy is common, of hate, murder and violence. Although it is a shadow spreading across the world, it is incubated in India's neighborhood. I commend the members of the U.S. Congress for sending a clear message to those who preach and practice terrorism for political gains. Refusing to reward them is the first step towards holding them accountable for their actions. The fight against terrorism has to be fought at many levels, and the traditional tools of military intelligence or diplomacy alone would not be able to win this fight. Mr. Speaker, we have both lost civilians and soldiers in combating terrorism. The need of the hour is for us to deepen our security cooperation and base it on a policy that isolates those who harbor, support, and sponsor terrorists. That does not distinguish between good and bad terrorists, and that delinks religion from terrorism. Also, for us to succeed, those who believe in humanity must come together to fight for it as one and speak against this menace in one voice. Terrorism must be delegitimized. Mr. Speaker, the benefits of our partnership extend not just to the nations and regions that need it most. On our own, and by combating our capacities, we are also responding to other global challenges, including when disaster strikes and where humanitarian relief is needed. Far from our shore, we have evacuated thousands from Yemen, Americans and Indians and others. Nearer home, we have the first responders during Nepal's earthquake, in the Maldives water crisis, and most recently during landslide in Sri Lanka. We are also one of the largest contributors of troops to UN peacekeeping operations. Often, India and the US have combined their strengths in science and technology and innovation to help fight hunger, poverty, disease, and literacy in different parts of the world. The success of our partnership is also opening up new opportunities for learning, security, and development from Asia to Africa. And the protection of environment and caring for the planet is central for our shared vision of a just world. For us in India, to live in harmony with Mother Earth is a part of our ancient belief. And to take from nature only what is most essential is a part of our Indian culture. Our partnership, therefore, aims to balance responsibilities with capabilities. And it also focuses on new ways to increase the availability and use of renewable energy. A strong US support for our initiative to form an international solar alliance is one such effort. We are working together not just for a better future for ourselves, but for the whole world. This has also been the goal of our efforts in G20, East Asia summits, and climate change summits. Mr. Speaker, as we deepen our partnership, there will be times when we would have differing perspectives. But since our interests and concerns converge, the autonomy in decision-making and diversity in our perspectives